Hi, this is Billie Beene here with a U.S. News Flash Update. Today's date, August 9, 2024, time about 11 a.m. in Texas, U.S. episode 207. And I'm happy to be back after 2 days without internet and rolling blackouts along the South Texas area. So let's get started. So we're seeing a lot of geologic movement around the world, and that's impacting the U.S. So we had in Japan a 7.1 yesterday. That was 30 kilometers deep or 19 miles deep. This is along the Ring of Fire that also impacts the U.S. In Juneau, Alaska, along the border of Alaska and Canada, adjacent to Washington State. In Ak-Glacier, we had some melting that caused some flooding. We also had yesterday, in addition to the 7.1 earthquake in Japan, we had a 5.2 about 25 miles south of Bakersfield, California. That was 6 miles deep or 10 kilometers deep, followed by 400 tremblers. We also have tropical action going on. We have Debbie up in the east coast of the U.S., now a depression with winds of 39 miles per hour, barometric pressure about 1009, moving forward at 37 miles per hour. We have another tropical wave coming off of Africa in the Antilles area now. In the next 48 hours, 0% of getting stronger, but in 7 days, a 60% chance. So that's going on. And I'd like to say thank you to Ted J and Kim C for extra support for my channel. I also had a Patriot subscriber from Florida talking about the VA in many areas of Florida not serving veterans well. All the radiology doctors and support staff suddenly quit the VA in Florida from Fort Lauderdale to Daytona. And this vet says they want me to drive 2 hours for an appointment. And I'm not physically able to do that, nor, do I have extra money for that kind of trip. And this vet makes this statement: the U.S. sends billions. Gaza, Israel, Ukraine. They need to keep some of that money at home and help the vets. I agree. And now we have this going on. Yeah, so we have the sun also active, and I believe that ties in to the earthquakes we're seeing. And Japan has issued a warning for the next 7 days for a megaquake in that area, an 8 or 9. That would impact the Philippine plate, impact the Pacific plate, and I believe impact the U.S. western coast. Now we have, from the sun, we have 3 Cme'S, coronal mass ejection points coming in. 2 were launched on August 7 from M-class flares from the sun. 1 was launched yesterday from an X-class flare from the sun. They're going to hit the Earth August 9, 10, 11, and on 10, August 10 to 11, it's predicted a geomagnetic storm level 3 with a KP most likely of 6 to 7, where we would see auroras down to the middle of the U.S. and in Europe. So that's going on. Now we have this. Yeah. So we had the 5.2 hit in Bakersfield, and this is on the Ring of Fire. In the past 72 hours in California, we've had 1.5 plus magnitude in the past 24 hours. So we had this 5.2 yesterday, August 9, 400 tremblers. And in the last 72 hours, we've had, in the last 24 hours, we've had 72 tremblers taking place along Bakersfield. I submit these could be associated with the 7.1 that happened in Japan. And it traveled around the Ring of Fire. It also jostled the plates, tectonic plates, in this area. So in Juneau, Alaska, we had the Suicide Glacier on Tuesday, August 6th, do some melting, and it flooded the Mendenhall River in Juneau, and in the past 24 hours, the Suicide Basin adjacent to the Suicide Glacier in Juneau, the water level has dropped 400 feet. So we see things going on. I believe these are all related, from Japan to Juneau down to Bakersfield. And we have this. So we had the earthquake in the, actually it was in the Kyushu. So we have Japan. They have a small island down here called Kyushu. And it was here. This 7.1 occurred on the offshore. And it was serious enough that the seismologists in Japan have issued a warning for an 8 to 9 megaquake to occur within the next week. And it was serious enough for the Prime Minister of Japan to cancel a trip. The Prime Minister Kishida to cancel a trip to Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Mongolia, Central Asia, that he was to take August 9 to 12. So it's believed the warning from Japan for the megaquake could occur from August 15 to 20. I submit if that occurs, it's going to reverberate around the Ring of Fire, and we in the U.S. could also see some events. And we have this in the U.S. The mainstream media, according to Zero Hedge, Warner Brothers, who owns CNN and Discovery, because of the huge loss of viewers on its cable system, they have had to write off a loss just recently of $9.1 billion. And I have said before, and I will say again, woke don't play in the USA. And we have this, a recent interview by John Chalmers. It comes out that 80% plus of the U.S. people, including Democrats, believe that the election in 2020 was a fraud. It was stolen. And certainly I've brought out that we also saw a political coup by Congress in January of 2021. I believe we're on the right track, and I do believe we need to be in prayer for geologic and space events going on. I love you, and I'll see you soon.